Get those hands up and praise him. Hallelujah. Let's take a look around. Kind of lovely up here. This is the Phoenix Mountains, and probably a good name for it because we're in Phoenix. But yeah, so dramatic day Tuesday, obviously, with the abortion doctor charging out of his clinic and assaulting me and getting cited for that, and me going to court on the 13th on Friday, canceling my flight to Salt Lake City, looking very intently at maybe returning to Durham. So yeah, lots of stuff going on just in the last 48 hours. Today, I took a little bit of a different tact in my protests there at the clinic before, and I think this has had a lot to do with rallying him up, other than the fact that I was like almost directly outside his waiting room, but emphasizing the fact that we will provide and pay for all the health care if they're in need of housing, if they're being abused by a spouse, if they're being uh, pressured by anybody, then we're trying to remove obstacles in the way of such a dramatic decision. Uh, so, but today was a slightly different tact in the sense that in doing the research on this doctor, uh, he obviously has a criminal record because of 5 years ago when he brandished, is that the word? Is that a word? Brandished a gun to some of our guys, some of our protesters. This was at his this was at a different location. Same name, same clinic, same business. But obviously he's got a screw loose and he was charged and convicted of aggravated assault. Uh, but God was so good to me and letting this guy and letting me provoke him to come out and assault me. So now I did get a trespassing charge, so uh, it's the most minor one, but we'll see. Whatever they try to do with that, it's fine with me. But the main thing is, you know, necessity warrants me staying and doing everything within my power to add this particular assault to his resume. And that's pretty much what I was focused on in protesting today. And it was a wonderful day because he didn't have his music blasting and blaring like he normally does. So, I mean, I was laying in full blast. I mean, it was coming through the speakers loud and clear. It was such a beautiful thing. And the Lord just gave me the words. He just gave me the words because I was yelling, "Nurse, nurse, nurse," or "Dr. Eunice, we need to don't you think we need to look at your a criminal record?" And the point is, I wanted the patients in the room to hear it. And I was saying, don't we need to look at your medical records also? Weren't you brought up before the bar, and weren't you kicked out of a few hospitals, and don't are you telling your clients all about your past? And so this was the drumbeat. This was the drumbeat. And we had Bob was there, and of course, uh, uh, not not Jason, but I can never think of his name, but he's the leader. And then, of course, Ethan was there, and so I was wanting to do rotations. I blasted away, and the leader blasted away, and then Ethan blasted away, and then I got to blast away Again, but what I mean by blast away is protest very, 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 very loudly on the loud system. So, um, just to make it as relentless as possible. But again, as I've said in previous videos, the heat and the sunlight is also as relentless as possible. So I think I got there around 9 today, earlier than normal, and stayed 3 hours. 3 hours, maybe a little over. But I thought it was I felt good about it. I mean, look, obviously we want to be sharing the gospel. We want to pray for these people. We want to pray for anybody that's involved in this. Because if you're a Christian and you believe in God, God does not smile on offering your child to Moloch. Now, if you're a Christian and you say, well, I don't really believe the Old Testament, you're not a Christian. So, and the idea that men could conceive of this evil is pretty much in line with the transgenderism we have nowadays, and boys wanting to become girls and girls wanting to become boys, and of course the government's going to fund that. They'll fund that, and if they had their way, I think they would. I think at one time, I think the Hyde Amendment is preventing them from funding abortion, but they're doing other little incremental things. I was trying to think earlier about Jeff Durbin from Apologia Church, pastor elder there, went before the city council, and he just told them flat out, he goes, you guys are gonna be judged. You guys are evil. And I was thinking about naming this particular video, Phoenix is Evil. I can't really speak of all the other towns, but this, I have never seen so much depravity. And it's not just the abortion, it's the way older people are treated, especially those 65 and older, and the homeless. Like, for instance, it doesn't matter to me, but today, and I've said in my previous videos, that this is a concrete jungle here in Phoenix, Tempe, Mesa area. And so you can see, let me just show you where I am. So let me show you. Right down there, I know you can't really tell but where I'm pointing, but there's a little flat space where I had a few things, not very much. A little thin blanket, but not very much. And somebody came and took it out. Same thing had happened in Tempe. I had a lot more stuff there in Tempe, but that doesn't really affect me. I mean, it did a little bit, but like when I went to Manhattan and I was wanting to go overseas, I was sleeping at Central Park. And of course, in Manhattan, there is no place to sleep. So I managed to find a place, and that was off the beaten path. Now, you would think this is off the beaten path, but the point is, I was able to find a place where I could sleep overnight. And if you're ever in Manhattan and you don't have any money and you need a place to sleep, I highly recommend Central Park, because I've never seen anything that dramatic where you come out of the city, go into Central Park, and it's like going into a different world because it's so quiet. And I could always sleep like a baby, get up in the morning, go to McDonald's, get some coffee. But at any rate, I'm stuck here, and I'm so grateful to be stuck here in Phoenix, because whatever I can do to make this doctor's life more miserable, then it's worth standing out in the sun, in the heat, to do it. So anyway, the temperatures are going to start leveling out. I don't know if I mentioned this in one of the other videos, but It rained again a couple nights ago, and I was thinking, man, this is twice in June that it's rained in Phoenix, and it was cool. When it rains here, it gets cold, but I don't think we have to worry about that uh, because this is we're headed towards mid-June, and it's going to plateau. The temperature's going to plateau in the 110s, 108s area. But I was looking at flights, one-way flights to Durham, uh, and so as soon as I find out when I have to come back here, if we are so blessed as to have the judge say, well, we're going to need you to come back if you're wanting to prosecute. And I'm going to go, yeah, Judge, we're wanting to prosecute. So I'll eventually have to fly back out here. So, pray for that. I know you're not going to watch this. Probably a few of you might watch this, but pray that we can put this guy out of business. So get those hands up and praise and holler.